Thursday night football at GMHBA Stadium. It's the Cats and the Saints. And does this just loom as a bit of a potential upset here with St Kilda, Hoyne?
Yeah, definitely a chance of an upset here. Okay. I find this one almost impossible to read. I mean, Geelong have lost 5 of the last 6. I actually don't think that Geelong are going that bad. They've just had a couple of bad patches in that time. They've had the hardest draw in the competition so far. I don't think that they're going that bad, but I also think that that St Kilda are doing a lot right and they will challenge them with their offensive game. So
you never get a better chance to beat them down there. 1999 was the last time
99, was it?
They beat them down there. Stewie Lowe had 24 touches, 13 marks and
that
2 goals.
That is a long time ago. Yeah.
Stewie Lowe plays.
It's a big day for Stewie Lowe.
He didn't even get the 3 votes. I think Nathan Burke got it as well.
Those 2 win 2 of the last 3 from St Kilda, both at Marvel. So I'd probably not worry about that so much. I think St Kilda should be going close as well. They do have a few out, the Saints. It's all talked about Cameron and these guys that are out. I like the Cats forward line. It looks like they've picked a running forward line. I'd still go under that total. They have engaged in a bit of a shootout, these 2 teams. But at Geelong, slippery night, cold night, high pressure, I'd probably take the under points in this one.
I'm taking on Bradley Hill. You took him on 2 weeks ago. I took him on last week. That's a high line for Bradley Hill. And at the Cattery, there's a lot less room at halfback and there's a lot less room on the wings. Now, if Nazaya gets tagged as well and they do a job on him, he misses out a lot of handball receives, Bradley Hill, from Nazaya and the old 1-2. So I'm going to take him on again, Bradley Hill.
He's had 37, 42 and 39. Yeah. You're a brave man, Browny. Hello everyone and welcome to a big edition of In the Back Pocket. We are getting close to the business end of the AFL season. Matt Nevett is my name. Two-time All-Australian Nathan Browny is here. Champion Data's Daniel Hoyne. The goal-kicking superstar and a man who loves the walk and talks, but he just sometimes forgets to put his microphone on. Is Josh Jenkins.
I did
Hello,
do
JJ.
That last week. I was actually listening to live radio, so you learn something new every day. If you don't turn the radio off, they can't hear your voice. A lot of people did say it was their favourite version of the walk and talk. So anyhow, let's find some winners.
Yeah, let's do exactly that. We've been in pretty good form over the last couple of weeks as well. So plenty of green tick action there on the screen. You get your money back for Rory Laird last week as well, JJ. So let's push on, Brownie.
From Isaac Rankin. That's a good profit and loss, isn't it? So this week I am heading towards the Gold Coast. And Johnny Noble, home games, last 10 games he's played at home, he averages over 30. Last 10 games he plays away, he averages 21.6. It's a big difference. He's back at home this week. Meant to be a little bit of rain around, but I'm comfortable to take him 26 plus. I've also backed him at 30 plus, but my very best is 26 against the Dogs. 30 plus, 460. So the 4 more disposals get you to 460. So I'm chips in on Johnny Noble. Yeah,
and like it against the Dogs too. I think the Dogs, they don't really have those negators across the half-forward area that can actually lock down on some of those rebounding defenders in the competition. So 30 to 21, that's a big call.
It is. And it's a good stretch as well. It's a pretty decent sample size. So I like the way you're thinking there. Errol Goulden, since he's returned from injury, has been in really good form and he's just continuing on that upward trajectory with his numbers and also the way that he's influencing games. He's slick, he runs hard, he uses the ball well. I see no reason why he wouldn't be getting 26 plus this weekend because I think the tag would probably go in other directions, at least at this point anyway, if they do elect to go
Warner
that way.
And Heaney,
You'd think so.
And I reckon if Warner goes a little bit more forward, Michael Lanny probably gets him, and through the midfield, you'd think that Heaney would be the one they tag through there.
Yeah, no doubt. I've gone Errol Goulden as well. I've ticked him up to 27, so I know exactly what's going to happen here.
You did this last week. Brownie did.
He will get 26, and I'll be a loser, and you'll be a winner. I think Adelaide prefer to tag inside anyway. He does go wing, inside mid, half forward, so he rolls around a little bit. He's probably a bit difficult to tag because of this type of stuff. He just can run and gun and carry the ball and link up. He's very difficult to tag because he can play multiple positions, but he can just run and gut run, and I don't see an outside runner on Adelaide's team that can take care of him.
He's got to be one of the best kicks in the AFL.
Beautiful. Yeah, he is, and he's probably their second most important player. In terms of what they can do the next 6 home and away weeks, and then what September actually looks like. So, if Sydney are to be any threat, they want to start to see Errol start to win a lot of the footy and impact matches.
All right, good lead into the head-to-head odds here with Sydney and the Crows. So, good clash. It's got top 4 ramifications written all over it.
Were you surprised about how firm Sydney are? $1.52. I didn't think that they'd be $1.50 $1.90 each of two, but I genuinely thought it'd be around the $1.80, $2 mark. Adelaide been playing some pretty good football. Sydney just off a little bit, particularly against the best sides.
It's just a home ground advantage here, isn't it? If this was in Adelaide, it's probably $1.90 a piece.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. That's a reasonable assessment. Before teams have been named, so some queries on whether Adelaide will rest Walker, potentially just go with the two talls here and Murray off the bench. So there's a bit to play out there. It's a big game for Sydney, I think, Hoyne. You don't want to overstate 40 minutes of footy, but it was pretty dire the way Fremantle just steamrolled them. Now, Fremantle might just go and steamroll everyone, but that last quarter and a half of footy last week was pretty grim stuff.
Yeah, we don't sort of, buckle too much at just a week-to-week sort of, outcome. It's more, looking at big picture and what has actually been real across a long period of time. And when you take a look at what Sydney have done so far this year against the best, that's real. I mean, they have struggled to defend the best teams in the competition. Now, they've only played 5 games against top 6 teams in the competition this year. This will be their 6th game against a top 6 team. And they played Brisbane's VFL team basically in round 1, so I'm not even counting that. The other games against the very best, they've conceded 99 points or more in every game. That's just simply not going to get the job done. This is their last showpiece game against a quality opposition before September. They might get the win, but if they get the win and they've still been ordinary defensively, you're getting close to almost putting a line through their chances to challenge Freo, Brisbane and Hawthorn this year.
An ex-Swan is Jordan Dawson, the skipper at the Crows, having a sensational season. It looks a pretty obvious matchup for James Jordan to go straight to him.
I would imagine so, even from inside the centre bounce. They'll move Dawson around. He might flip behind the ball. He might go deep forward because he's great aerially, but I would suggest Jordan goes straight to him, and that is Sydney getting back to their DNA. Like, get back to that. When Sydney were up and going, Jordan would just take out the best player for the opposition. He might even go to Rankin. I wouldn't take that off the table either.
I think if you line them both up, you know that Dawson can possibly beat a tag in the air
and move around
and go forward. Whereas I think if Isaac Rankin gets tagged at this stage of his career, I don't think he works through tag. I don't think he works hard enough with somebody hanging off him, and I just don't think he can work through it the same way Dawson. So if that's their thinking, let's just take one of out completely. I think it's Rankin.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't miss. I reckon 2 weeks away from a Rankin tag. I think he can go big again if he doesn't get the tag Rankin. And rather than stuffing around trying to find his line and whether he's going to get 26 or 7, if he just goes big again, you're getting a good price for him to go 30 plus like he did last week. So that's the way I'm going to play it. Not a huge bet, but you can just play the value for him to go big and hope that he doesn't get the tag. But I'm with you. Down the track in a couple of weeks' time, he could be the one that teams are going to for sure. What about Brodie Grundy? There's been some excellent ruck performances across the competition this season. This guy is having another stellar year.
He's going to be unlucky to miss All-Australian, is he? Because it's going to be Jackson and Gawn. I think he misses. You can't put 3 ruckmen in there. No.
Why?
You're going to put 3 ruckmen in your team, mate.
I would.
You pick 15 midfielders, so why can't you pick 3 ruckmen?
3 ruckmen.
I would.
You can pick him on the wing. They don't pick a real team anyway.
What has ever gone in with 3 ruckmen?
I'd have one key forward and Luke Jackson, and then I'd have Grundy and Grundy and Gawn in that team.
I think you're right.
Three. I think when you've got 3 of the absolute superstars of the competition, you've got to find a way to get. All right.
Well, hopefully Grundy can even further give himself a chance to get in the All-Australian team. I think this is a good matchup for him against McAndrew. On the follow-up footy, particularly at the SCG, loves to play at the SCG. A couple more stoppages a game there. He just seems to be able to get around the ground a bit better, those second and third phase disposals. So at the SCG against the more cumbersome ruckman, who does get after the footy okay, I like Grundy to go in the 20s. I reckon low 20s is a good number for him. Yeah,
so you can bet on All-Australian markets once again when the squad of 40 is announced. So keep an eye on that with the Sportsbet markets. Just having a look here at the line as well. So it's 11.5 points here. If you were forced into a bet one way here or the other at the line, who would you be taking?
I'd be taking Adelaide at the line. I think it's going to be a really close game.
Yep.
It's a big game for Adelaide too. I know we just put on the agenda with Sydney. Adelaide have the opposite problem. Defensively, brilliant. Offensively, really poor against the best teams in the competition. They've only got 2 more cracks at the best teams in the comp before finals, Sydney and Freo to come. Let's see if they can actually put a score on the scoreboard against a team who defensively against the best have struggled.
I can't see either of these 2 teams winning the premiership in their current format. Sydney, because of the reasons you alluded to, and I think they're onto that. Dean Cox has spoken a fair bit about, okay, we need to change the game a little bit, play what the game gives us, don't flip it around too much. All of their offensive numbers have come right back. Their ball movement numbers have come right back. Across the season in some of those categories, they're still number one. But in the last 5 weeks, which is a great assessment of your recent form, they've dropped right away. And Adelaide just have not fixed their issues from last year. They're still vulnerable, potentially around the ball, and if the ball gets stuck in their back half, they won't be able to get it out. So I don't see either team as a threat.
One of the biggest criticisms of Adelaide come finals last year was their inability for their forward line to get it done. And although it's been firing in recent weeks, that question mark will still hover while there's still question marks around what machinations they go with. So what do you think it looks like come September this year?
Well, I don't think they've decided yet. I mean, they still pick 3.5 key forwards and they want to play them low game time. It's time for the club, the coaching group, to either say, we believe in 3 talls and we're going to pick them and play them, or just make the decision on 2.
I think you have to go with 3. I think Fogarty's in pretty good form. I think Tex has been in pretty good form
Had
for
9
most of the
scoring
season.
shots last week.
Thilthorpe's a 1, and you're not going to leave Thilthorpe out of a game because he is their best forward, but he's not playing like their best forward. But he's the one that maybe allows the other 2 to get out, so I'd be playing 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't subscribe to the theory that you need to drop one. I'd be playing all 3 if they're all in great form come that point of the season. So, yeah, Taylor
I think
Walker,
that's the
5
problem.
goals
They're not
last
in
week.
great form. None of them together have really played a good game all together in the same game. So maybe this one's the one.
Yeah, big game, that's for sure. Top 4 ramifications at stake. Sydney taking on the Crows. We'll be back shortly on In the Back Pocket. Welcome back to In the Back Pocket. Matt Nevett, Nathan Brown, Daniel Hoyne and Josh Jenkins are with you. Before we look at some of the bets on a Saturday afternoon of football, let's just take a look back at last week, because from memory, I think it was a bit of a clean-up job.
Errol Goulden, a few weeks back now, and his value there at 25 plus. I'll take him at 27 as well.
Yeah, Isaac Rankin. We've been on both sides of the ledger here the last couple of weeks with Isaac. I feel like if they tag this week the Gold Coast, I don't think they will, but if they did, it'd be Jordan Dawson anyway. So I feel like 22 is still very playable, and that's my best bet for this weekend.
And it could be time to put your big boy pants on too, because I've got him as well. But I'm going to take him for 24 because I like the value at 24 a lot better.
Ed Allen to go with LDU, perfect matchup. He's 24.5. I'll take the under.
I reckon there's a clear top 7 teams in the comp. There's only one team that's averaging over 100 points against those 7 teams. That's GWS, averaging 111. And they're the 5th best team defensively against those top 7. This year, I mean, that was the first time I saw I'm shocked by those odds. I think they should be a lot closer for GWS.
In a home game.
Yeah. I've found 2 players, but you can pick any Brisbane Lions players you want. Kai Lohmann kicked the bag last week. He's got a very good record against Essendon. And Charlie Cameron started the game in explosive fashion last week. He's the other one. He's kicked 6 in his last 3.
There we go, some of the winners from last week, and if North Melbourne kicked straight, it would have been a clean sweep.
Good punting.
It was good punting. You even needed bigger boy pants for Isaac Rankin. He smashed 24.
31 here.
Yeah, big game from Isaac. So, righto, Brownlow tracker. His teammate Jordan Dawson's been in good form in recent times. Where's things stand?
Has been. I voted him again, but I voted Nick Daicos again as well. I only got the 1 this week, Nick Daicos, but he's still 9 votes clear of a man that he's not going to vote again. I think Jack Butters is out. I gave Marcus Bontempelli the 3. Nothing for Isaac Heaney. Nothing for Harry Sheasel. Harry Sheasel's a big prize, so maybe I've got him polling wrong. But Jordan Dawson for the 2. Nazaya. I gave Bradley Hill the 3 in that game. Lockie Neal was fantastic with 42. John Newcomb didn't vote. Harley Reid, he's been a slow burn, but 251, I've got him voting okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Daicos out market shortly, because he does look to have it sewn up.
So that's 3 games where Nick hasn't got a vote this year. That's extraordinary. That is unbelievable what he's been able to do this year. What is it, 45 votes is the record, it looks like, off yours. Every chance to absolutely go past that.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, and I'm sure he'll have a big impact on this game as well. So the Blues, their 7-match winning streak comes to an end. Can they bounce back against their arch rivals Collingwood? Nick Daicos will be a big focus once again, Hoyne.
Yeah, so speaking of the little champ, I mean, you cast your mind back to what happened early on this year, and it was probably, if not the best quarter anyone's played this year, up there with the best quarters. They were gone at 3-quarter time, 3 goals down, only kicked 6 goals for the quarter, for the game at that stage. Didn't even look like it.
People who don't understand the ratings, 12.7 in a quarter.
That's
What's
a
that
game.
mean?
That's what you should get for a game.
Yep.
He got that in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it was just extra. I think it was the 4th or 5th highest rated quarter for the year. And they played him ahead of the ball a lot of that quarter, and he goes absolutely crazy. Carlton didn't have a match up there. I understand that they are going to start with him in the midfield as you would, but I just wonder whether or not Craig McRae would look at that and have in the back of the mind what he did in the forward half in that 4th quarter was extraordinary. Do we actually look to exploit that a little bit more on Saturday night with Lachie Schultz not being there as well? So just something just to just keep an eye on.
What I found remarkable around the punting with Nick Daicos, so obviously for disposals, he's the shortest odds. But then you go and look at the goal kickers, and he's very much the same price as the goal kickers at Collingwood. So he's number 1 in disposals and number 1 for goal kicking. So a hard man to back against, but also to get any value, a hard man to back. But 33.5, I don't see a tag for him.
No, I can only see George Hewitt trying to look after him at stoppage, but he won't be able to keep up with him post-stoppage. So, I mean, who knows what they do? Who knows what the competition do with a little champ?
Hewitt on him.
I'm just trying to throw up a no. If George Hewitt goes, I reckon Nick Daicos will be quite happy. But
I guess that's why you see the big number and why it's worth listening pre-game to what their plans might be. Craig McRae's often very open with what their plans are, so worthwhile paying attention to him. I don't necessarily see them being able to go to him. I think Hewitt's under a bit of a cloud anyway, some issues there. He's probably more likely to go to a Jordan De Goey, who we'll get to in a moment. But Patrick Cripps, now he is the head of the snake. I think athletically, Ed Allen is better suited to playing on Sam Walsh because he likes the athletic runners. But I think you want to take away the head of the snake, and that's why I think Ed Allen goes to Patrick Cripps. And his hit list is starting to become significant. Davies Uniacke last week, he's got Butters, he's got Pickett, he's got others on that list. He's becoming a very good tagger very quickly. Yeah,
we say it every week, but it might be one where you just want to keep your powder dry until you actually can get a gauge for where that matchup is exactly going, because you don't want to be taking the overs if you've got Ed Allen sitting on your man. So
he's got the size, Allen. I do think he's better suited to the athletic runners, but he's got the size to play on Cripps. And this guy De Goey, I think he had 1 or 2 disposals in the first quarter, and I was on him. I'm thinking, here we go. He's going to end up with a dozen for the game. They'll slide him forward because he can't get involved. Had 15 in the second quarter.
Averaged 26 a game his last 9 games.
And lit it up. I'm worried that they might use Hewitt on him because he's got the bigger body, particularly at stoppage.
He's the other one that can move forward
as
well.
The risk of him going forward
listening
is
to Craig McRae pre-game is pretty important because somebody has to go forward, and either him or Nick Daicos, I think, are the two.
Is he in career best form?
Yes.
Jordan De Goey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time,
Yeah, no, he's having some sort of season, that is for sure. So 24 plus, you can see there on the screen. Better than even money for Jordan De Goey. So same game multi for this clash?
Yep, I've got Josh Daicos in there because he's been flying at the moment. Jordan De Goey at around that 24 market, and the other one I've got in there is Jagger Smith, just at 23. So the sweet spot at all 25 and below their averages. All
right, we'll find out if the Fraser Ferry was just a blip on the radar last week, or if they can hit back and get into the winner's circle once again. Let's take a look at North Melbourne taking on the Demons here at Marvel Stadium. Now, I thought they were excellent last week, North Melbourne. They just couldn't put the game away. They had plenty of chances to win it. They weren't able to do so. And Melbourne, since the bye, have been sensational. So they, as you put on the radar last week, Hoyne, would have top 4 goals and aspirations. They've got to be winning this if that's the case, JJ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'm confident they will. I mean, Marvel's a small factor, but they've been there and won there earlier this year, and I think they'll get the job done. North Melbourne now competitive enough. You can be super confident that you're going to get a competitive game from North. You're not really going to... We've seen 1 or 2 aberrations from them. Happy to play the big win, little win, 1-39 for the D's here. Better than even money. I'll get involved there. And the D's, I mean, this is the guy that has benefited more so, Jacob Van Rooyen, off the back of improved ball movement and improved offensive scheme and structure. He is
68 punters were on him last week at the 6-goal mark.
Nice.
$34 odds.
Nice.
68 punters on that.
Well, he won't be that price this week. The Roos do leak some goals, so it might be a chance to go back to back to back on kicking bags. But you just see the opportunities one-on-one. I mean, he's against, young, inexperienced defenders. But give any good forward those opportunities one-on-one with some speed on the ball. That's what he didn't get last year. That's what he is getting this year, and that's why he's improved a lot.
It's the best the Melbourne forward line has looked in a long, long time. And there's now pressure on for spots. So Petty and Fritsch expected to be fit and available. So I don't know who gets squeezed here. Yeah. Maybe Melksham's the unlucky one. He had a good game last week.
No, you've got to play the snake.
I agree.
I don't understand why they never play him.
I'm with you.
He came in, he was brilliant in the first quarter on the weekend. He glistened. Jenkins. He's got great teeth. He looks good. I don't understand why Jake Melksham doesn't play week in, week out.
Couldn't agree more, but he seems to be sort of on the outer with Stephen King. One man who I don't think will get dropped based on what he's done in the last couple of weeks is Matty Jefferson. He is really coming on as a player. First round draft pick from around 5 years ago, just finding his feet. He just can't kick straight. So Marvel Stadium under the lid, surely. We can get 2+ out of him this week and it's a good price.
There's a lot of players who don't make the transition from VFL football or local football to AFL. They just find it hard. They dominate. But I think Joel Fitzgerald's one of those players that no matter where he plays, if he was playing out in Bundoora this week or he's playing VFL for Coburg or he plays Melbourne at the MCG, he just finds the footy. He's a natural ball finder, a little bit like Matty Prittis. You put him in there and he finds the footy no matter where he is. He had 31 last week and I'm going to back him at 23, 24, 25 this week. I think he represents value. I think he's going to play in the midfield and he just finds it.
Yeah, he's a great story and he was fantastic last week. Tommy Sparrow's been a great story for the D's right through the year as well.
Yeah, he is. And this midfield group for Melbourne, at the moment, is absolutely red hot. Top 4 for clearance differential over the last 6 weeks. And yes, Max is absolutely firing, and Cossie's doing what he's doing. But have a look there for what Tom Sparrow has done across the competition since round 9. Top 10 clearance player in the game, and top 3 for actually turning those clearances and generating a score for your team. So his influence on this team is absolutely significant at the moment. Yes, Max and Cozzy are the absolute pin-ups to what they're doing at the moment, but he needs to continue that form if Melbourne are actually be a top 4 threat on the competition this year, because he's flying.
Yeah, his signature is going to be fascinating to see where it lands and whether or not he stays at the Demons, who I do still feel like are representing some good value, top 4 and 6 here. They've improved off the bye. I think they haven't maybe even peaked yet.
I don't think I can remember. Last week they were $2.50 for top 6. They were always going to win. Now they're $1.91. So you've just got to pay attention to the fixture. They were never losing that game. All of a sudden they're $2.50 into $1.91, and you knew they were going to win the game.
Big clash against Fremantle in around a month's time at the MCG, which will tell us a bit about both sides, I think. Let's move along to Port Adelaide and that club, the Fremantle Dockers, who are absolutely airborne at the moment. Premiership favourites and deserve to be, and they deserve to be $1.05 against the Port Adelaide side that is missing their stars. So it's going to be hard work.
All of their stars, Horn, Francis, Butters and Georgiades. We've talked about those 3 being, if you can take them out, you'll smash Port Adelaide. The problem is it's been hard to take them out. Now they're out. So who knows what this looks like. I wouldn't be surprised. That Fremantle game was a huge emotional roller coaster. Don't be surprised to see almost the worst version of Freo in a way here. They just grind it out, maybe play low game time for some of their better players and just get the job done. It might not optically be a great game.
Yep. Ollie Wines, does he now have to take control of that midfield? It's a role that he's played plenty of times before, but he just hasn't been, I suppose, on the ground as much in
they've
weeks.
prioritised others for good reason. Butters and Horn Francis are always a hit too. So with Wines, he's not going to get around the ground and get a lot of the footy. I'm happy to play him here. I'm confident he'll be on the ground 75-80% of the time. He's also going to be the first possession targeted player, and he wouldn't have been targeted from the hit-out perspective all season long. He's got a really good recent record against Fremantle. They're not going to worry about running with him or anything like that, and I'm confident he's the one who's going to be around the ball. They're going to try some other guys in there as well, but you need a general. You need someone in there who's going to say, you stand here, this is how we're going to set up, and this is where we're going to play, and we know he finds the footy.
I want to hear about this Fremantle profile, Hoyne. Just how good is it?
Yeah, so, we've got 6 weeks to go in the season, and what they're doing at the moment, offensively and defensively, 1-on-1 in the competition. So just to put that into a bit of context, if that maintains for the rest of the year, there's only ever been 2 teams in Champion Data's time, which is 27 years, that have maintained that profile. Do you know what they've done? One went on to win a flag by 119 points, which is Geelong in 07.
Right.
And one went on to win a flag by 81 points. So they've combined for 2 flags by 200 points.
Who was the second team?
Geelong in 2022.
2022.
Wow.
If that maintains right there, I don't like getting too far carried away and what have you. They are
Get carried away.
You might be.
You think about what they're doing at the moment, and we might look back on it in 2.5 months' time and go, that was one of the more obvious flags that we've seen for a long time. Because, and weird things can happen, occasion can happen, inaccuracy can happen, all that sort of stuff, right? But if it doesn't, like what they're doing at the moment is perfection. And it's perfection that we've rarely seen in 25, 26 years of footy. So just a bit of credit to them.
For what you're saying, if it was the NBA and it was a 7-game series, I think you'd just declare Fremantle. You'd say they're easily the best team, and over a 7-game NBA final series, they'll figure it out, and the best their best footy will come to the fore, but it's a one-off game. I mean, Brisbane versus Fremantle at the MCG this weekend, I'm tipping Brisbane. I just am, because I know that Brisbane will turn up. I know they'll handle the occasion. I know they'll play the ground. You don't know that about Fremantle. Now, I might be overstating that because I was, played in a grand final against a Melbourne-based team, and that's also what they might come up against. So, in terms of their profile, incredible. But there are external factors that they are yet to overcome, and they won't face until they get there on the day.
You have to take a bet right now, Fremantle or the field.
Always take the field. Don't even let him answer. Do not take Fremantle.
That is a very good question.
Yes, that's why I'm here.
That is a very good question, and I'm going to pivot away from answering that
sweet
question.
spot multi. So 25 and under is the sweet spot, or 25 and under. Brayshaw, 25, been in really good form. Tagged last week, which was a surprise to me. Jordan Clark off half-back. I think he just runs the show down there. And Murphy Reid, another 24.
Always been in good form, Murphy Reid. Righto, let's have a look at West Coast taking on the Brisbane Lions. Another one-sided market. And they are looming now as the big challenger, I suppose, to Fremantle. They're coming good at the right time of the year, and they've done it on the big stage.
Are they the challengers, though, or are Fremantle still the challengers? Are the Lions still the kings? Are we challenging the Lions?
Through Brisbane.
Or because Fremantle are on top, are people challenging them? Do we think that Brisbane need to be knocked off?
I'd like to be in Brisbane's position, having won the last couple, going in as potentially the underdog. You'd be feeling pretty good about yourself in that situation. It's a free... I know it's not a free hit because you're playing for a premiership, but it's the side of the ledger you'd rather be on, wouldn't you, going into finals?
Well, I mean, if you look at the premiership market, it's $3.40 Freo, $4.20 Brisbane. That's the ultimate sign of respect for Brisbane, because Fremantle is so far and away, they're guaranteed basically the home qualifying final. Brisbane might be on the road. Brisbane might be playing in an elimination final, first final, so it's the ultimate sign of respect.
If I am playing, we're probably getting off track, but I'd like to play Fremantle in the first final over there rather than the prelim.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, there you go. In the game, you can't bet head-to-head here unless you like West Coast. Connor McKenna, he's been kicking goals, kicked 2 in each of his last 4 games, so I'm happy to get involved with him. Brisbane are going to kick a heap of goals. Just be on weather watch here. I think it's clearing, but just check that. But if it's clear enough, then get on most of the lines. But I'll be taking Connor McKenna, who's going to be in the forward line and has been kicking goals.
Yeah, particularly if you like the keys like I do. So Eric Hipwood's one that I want to back. But I'm, again, just waiting to see the weather. So wait for probably 24 hours before the game.
I just reckon this has just got Brisbane going in, winning by 2 or 3 goals, 4 goals, and just getting out. They've had a few big weeks. I reckon this is just one of those. Go to WA, get the job done. Don't worry about it, and walk away.
All right. Anything for you, Brownie?
No.
All right. Sit back and enjoy the game. Then we'll be back shortly on In the Back Pocket. Welcome back to In the Back Pocket. Great to have your company. Matt Nevett is my name, Nathan Brown, Daniel Hoyne and Josh Jenkins are with me. Boys, let's have a look at the Gold Coast taking on the Western Bulldogs. Must admit, I was a little bit disappointed here with the market because I was hoping the Suns would come up outsiders. There'd be a bit more juice there for us to play them head-to-head because they're a different side at home. Even though they're on a big losing streak, they are better at home.
But their coach doesn't think they can play finals. They're done, their coach.
What did you make of that?
I just think it's a stupid thing to say as a coach. I mean, as a player, you go... So the coach doesn't think we can play finals. Is he trying to motivate them in a strange type of way? But as a player, I don't think you'd like hearing that. I think the footy club has since corrected it. But he's one of the great complainers, Dimmer.
Yeah, he gets very emotional in his post-match press conferences, that is for sure. Hoyne, the Suns and the Dogs, they're inside the top 8, the Western Bulldogs, so we've got to give them some respect here. Do they deserve to be the outsiders?
Yeah, we'll give them some respect from a wins-loss perspective, but that's about it. Okay. We'll have a look from a profile perspective over the last period of time, and we've been going on about it on this show now for a number of weeks. It does reflect a team that shouldn't be sitting where they are at the moment. They've got one of the worst percentages in the history of the game for a team that's sitting 10-7. We talked about the West Coast game last week. Don't expect it to be a certainty, and it wasn't. Gold Coast there, that's probably a reason why Dimmer's going our season is done. Yeah. That profile there doesn't read too well. But so this is obviously more than a danger game for the Dogs because they they don't play any of the top 4, top 5 teams. I understand that they have Melbourne in that last game of the season, but they do have a lot of awkward games, and this is one of them. And their percentage means that if they drop one, they will drop some significant places on the ladder. So this is more than a danger game for the Dogs.
12 wins gets you in the top 10.
I think 12 wins does, but the Dogs' percentage, as I said, it's horrific. So they might actually need another one. But I think 12 will get you there.
It's genuine gut check time for Gold Coast to find out whether they are going to be a serious club. I like the Suns. I love the list. I love the talent. They were the second youngest team that went around last week. I think we look at them and think, well, they've got all these stars and they should be ready to go. Maybe they're just needing a bit more time to play some footy together. Maybe they need to find out which guys can help them go forward and which guys need to move on. And the coach certainly needs to get his act together as well. In terms of some guys who have been playing good footy, Brodie has been consistent all season long. He's taken over the kick-in duties from John Noble across the season, taken nearly double the amount of kick-ins that Noble has. 24 a game, that's his number this weekend. I'm happy to play him at 24 plus. And Zeke the Freak, little brother, has gone back to half-back as well. Now, his numbers dipped a little bit last week. They got hammered by Adelaide. It was slippery. But he'd gone big in a couple of games previous to that. I'd play both Hewlin brothers, provided it's not wet.
Yeah, I'm going half-back as well. Johnny Noble, so let's have a look at his 10 games. These are his last 10 games. 20 in total, last 10 games at home, averaging 30.2. His last 10 games away, averages 21.6. He's playing at home this weekend. I don't care if it rains or not. I think he gets the football, Johnny Noble. I'm going to have him as my best bet at 26, but at 30 plus, I'm getting some value at $4.60.
Would there be any reason for that? It's very unusual to have a discrepancy of that much between your form at home and your form away for a guy who finds the football.
Yeah.
Doesn't like hotels.
No.
Is it
the buffet? Maybe he just goes gorging himself at the buffet.
He doesn't look like the type that overindulges at the buffet. He's a skinny operator. Maybe you need to do what I used to do and take your own pillow so you get a good night's sleep on the road, because those numbers there's a huge contrast in the way he plays at home versus away. Fortunately for you, he's at home. One
man who's been really consistent, probably the most consistent player for the Gold Coast across the last 6 weeks, is Noah Anderson. So against the side that doesn't tend to put attention into individuals, I think you can bet with a bit of confidence him 29 plus to get plenty of the football again. He needs to lead from the front for his side as the captain. So Noah Anderson for me is a good bet in that game. Let's have a look at Richmond taking on Hawthorn. So this is one-sided head-to-head, no surprises here. Will Day will miss. He's got a little issue, but we're expecting Nick Watson to return. That's a huge line, 49.5.
I actually thought the Hawks should cover that line with a bit of ease. I mean, at the MCG, Richmond are hanging by an absolute thread. I think Lawler's back either this week or next. We're sitting here before the teams have dropped, so that'll give them some bounce. But, I mean, young players don't make it to the finish line a lot, and Richmond, don't be surprised to see their form taper even more, and even some of their older guys might be looking for the finish line as well. So the best version of Hawthorn, I think, should cover that line, to be honest.
They just don't do it for 4 quarters, Richmond. They've shown some glimpses the last few weeks, but they've just had some bad quarters, Hoyne.
Yeah, they have. And my eyes for this game are going to go straight to Josh Ward. So I'm looking more towards the end of the season and what Hawthorn can do. I think that they are one of the few teams that can challenge Fremantle and Brisbane this season, and what he's done over the last 6 weeks, top 15 player in the competition, and he's been extremely consistent with his ball winning ability, 24 disposals a game, and his ability to be able to impact the scoreboard has been high as well. So I think he needs to maintain that level of form. As you said, Matty, Will Day out for this game, not too fussed about that. I think that's an opportunity for them to actually look after him a little bit further ahead of September. But if he maintains that form off the back of what Will Day and Jai Newcombe are doing, then they're going to be in this up to their eyeballs with Brisbane and Fremantle.
I can guarantee you my eyes won't be going to Josh Ward at all. So the Tigers, they rank 18th. The key forwards, general forwards, whatever forward you can put out in the park at the moment. So Jack Gunston, it starts with a 4 in front of it for me. Nick Watson with a 3 in front of it, and Marbia Chol. So 4-3-2, Gunston, Watson, Chol. I'm happy to back that.
No wonder you reckon they'll cover the line.
Big goal-kicking multi. I'm actually going the goals at the other end, Browny. I think Tom Lynch 2+ is a good bet here at Better Than Even Money. I think the criticism of him is a little unfair through the week.
The fact that he can't hit the side of a barn.
Well, it wasn't conditions for a guy who's not very mobile anymore last week. I know Van Rooyen kicked 6 at the other end, but he didn't get a great deal of looks, Tom Lynch. He got his hands on it plenty the week before when he was first up. So no rain expected on Sunday. 2+ Better Than Even Money for Tom Lynch. So expect him to bounce back. And your Giants, they have been on a run, Hoyne, and they are a team to really watch over the last month of the season.
Yeah, they are, and they've frustrated us on this show, throughout the season. Just when you've been pumping them up, and then they drop a couple of games. And I think the reason why they have been frustrating is what they've done against the best compared to what they've done against the bottom teams in the competition. And you've alluded to what they do offensively, and we spoke about that last week against the best teams in the comp, but defensively bottom 4. Against the bottom 8 teams this season. So they will get this job done, you would think, 3-3 against the bottom 8 teams. How far they get this done, I know we're in that stage of the season where percentage is crucial.
I think 40 plus.
So
the line's 39.5.
I think it has to be more than 40 plus. Like, they're hovering around that mark, from a percentage, point of view with Carlton and St Kilda and themselves. If you get Essendon, if you get Richmond on the way home, cash in and cash in big time.
They could quite easily win 5 of their last 6 games. So I think the next week they play Sydney at home, though. They play at Giant Stadium. That's a huge game. They've got Adelaide, I think, in the last round, which I don't think they can win. So realistically, they could win 5.
Yeah, and they're not going to be scared of anyone come September because they've got some scalps in the second half of the season. So, yeah, they are a scary proposition if they do happen to sneak in.
I love players that get tagged one week and then I look at it and go, I don't think he gets tagged the next week. So Finn Callaghan wasn't his best game. He still had 19 and kicked the goal that put them nice and clear. So it was a tough tag on him last week. Have a look at that. He's actually getting tackled while before he's getting the ball. So this week I just don't see the tag. He loves playing at Marvel Stadium. So just many disposals here. 32 plus. It's a high one, but I'm going 32 plus because that's where you get some value. At $1.08, actually, it's not great value, is it? $1.85, but I'll take it because I think he gets there.
And I'll involve him in an SGM as well. I mean, the Giants are 8-9. Let's not forget that. I know they play down to their opposition at different stages, but I can't see them making a genuine run. I can't see them getting to a prelim final. They also, they've had injuries across the way. They've got to play through the bye. That's important. They're not going to get that chance, you'd think, to have that rest and refresh and get themselves going. But here in this game, happy to play the halfbacks and Finn Callaghan there. Short and sweet. Essendon seemingly don't run an opposition meeting during the week because they don't put any effort or intensity into the opposition.
Just no meetings.
No, I don't think they run an opposition meeting. I doubt they've got an opposition coach because they don't
do. Just a bit of high tea.
Well, have you watched them play? What do they do during?
I've got no idea. They must be having scones and jam.
It's certainly not putting effort into the opposition, and that sounds and is disrespectful. But I mean, when you watch them play, it's unbelievable. I couldn't decide which player to put in there for 30 plus. So I put them all in for 27 plus, and I'd be surprised if we get rolled.
Do you reckon Hurdy gets the job?
Yeah, well, every single week they play, it just looks better for him because he's not involved and Solomon is involved, and it's pear-shaped for him. So I think he does get the job.
You can bet on the All-Australian markets when the squad of 40 comes out. Would Clayton Oliver be in the squad of 40? He's had a pretty good year.
I think they pick 44 these days as well, and they might have picked 46 now because there's 23 in the team. He'd be around the mark for the squad.
I still don't understand why they have a squad. Just pick the 23, 22, whatever it is. Why a squad? You disappoint somebody.
Yeah. Gives yourself an out.
Almost got there.
Got to talk about something, don't we, Brownie? Enjoy your Sunday. Good luck on the punt. We'll be back next week.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.